Dreaming of hydrated skin amidst these dry winter months? Dime offers clean, master esthetician crafted skincare products that deeply nourish, protect, and hydrate. Their formulas, made with clean ingredients, lock in moisture for skin that stays soft, smooth, and radiant all season long. Hydration starts with Dime's best-selling hyaluronic acid serum, delivering deep moisture where your skin craves it most. This lightweight, fast-absorbing serum helps quench dryness, plump skin, and boost elasticity from the inside out. Once your skin is prepped with the serum, seal in all that hydration with their Dewy Day Cream, a rich, luxurious moisturizer designed to provide all-day softness and lasting glow. Together, this powerful duo keeps your skin smooth, supple, and luminous, even in the harshest weather. Shop the duo now at dimebeautyco.com. That's dimebeautyco.com. And get the hydrated skin of your dreams.
Don't miss Good American Family.
We have a little girl here for adoption.
She has dwarfism.
Starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass.
Something is off.
She's just a little girl. You think she's faking?
She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty.
Inspired by the shocking stories that tore a family apart.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you?
You should get a lawyer.
You have no idea how those people hurt this girl.
The Hulu original series, Good American Family, premieres March 19th, streaming on Hulu.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
This episode brought to you by the following patrons. Oh my God, she's back again. Leaf Girl, Min, Jason, Sex Caliber Bones a Lot, Madeline, Alyssa, Vixen, Holly, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Lauren, Libby, Kristen, Tia, and Jonathan. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group where we will be hanging out daily. Now I just really want a true crime podcast that's fiction, but it's like two ghosts who are podcasting true crime from the perspective of the beyond.
The people who've been murdered.
Today we're going to talk the Casey Anthony case.
She's on TikTok now. She lives 45 minutes south of me.
Wait, does that mean she lives 40 minutes south of me?
Yeah. She lives in Murfreesboro, Todd.
The fact that she lives in the borough checks out.
Yeah. We probably wouldn't get along, because she's pro-choice.
Oh, that is so fucking
dark. Do you guys think that those little snakes that were around were all the abortions? That's where they went when they died?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other explanation.
Zygote, you might as well call it a bigote. It was aborted. It said bi.
What is...
I've got a type 5 on abortion.
Did you drink from the abortion fountain today? Type 5 is how many months you have to do it within the law.
I don't know if that's going to work. But don't you miss me?
I think that we can make some of those work.
Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like watching scary movies, but you guys sometimes make me watch them. But this week, Mikey didn't. He made us watch a movie from 1986 called From Beyond. And I said it that way because it feels like it's trying to be a 1960s B-horror movie.
Yes.
And guys, was this the first time you saw this movie?
It was my first time.
It was my first time too.
Mikey and I almost saw this at Panic Fest 2 years ago.
We did almost see it at Panic Fest.
Is that when it premiered?
No.
Come on.
Speaking of Panic Fest, we will be back in just a matter of weeks. Tickets are available soon. We will post them when they go up.
I will also be going.
Yay!
I'm not in the picture, which is fine. I'm not taking it personally. It'll be fine. I stepped away of my own volition.
You went out to get cigarettes, and this is what happens, because cigarettes kill.
I honestly don't even know what picture you're talking about. Picture of what?
Oh, Panic Fest.
Panic Fest
Instagram.
promos went out.
Oh, yeah, we didn't control that. I'm sorry. Talk to Tim, but please be nice, because I love Tim.
I sent them pictures, and we're like, here, all the pictures without Todd or without Mikey.
Wow. So they had to Photoshop me in over Mikey? Like, this is the romancing the podcast logo art?
Paige and I only had pictures, and like you never took pictures with just Paige. It was just me and her and all of us.
I looked at it and I was like, I distinctly remember them taking the picture that they used 2 Panic Fests ago because you weren't there last year, Todd.
Right.
So I think they had to search through. But it was like our first night. We had just watched Sisu.
Such a good movie.
Where was I?
You were ordering more blood bags. In a very, very rare occasion. Like, I'm drunk in the photo. Because, like, Todd, it was either right before or right after we hit those people in the heads with our pizza boxes.
Oh, so you were drunk and I was lit up. Yeah.
Yes. So if you look at the picture, we just look like we're having a good time, but I'm like, I know exactly what this was.
And I know where that pizza box lid's going to end up.
In somebody's hair.
Special guest Mikey will be there, is all I'm trying to say.
Yes. So come to Panic Fest. See all of us and Mikey.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll sign your private parts for $20.
Don't do that.
I'm not on the podcast. I can do what I want now.
No, you're in our Airbnb. So we're going to limit the amount of private parts exposed.
That's right. And also, if you want to visit our Airbnb, there'll be a sign-up sheet.
Don't you fucking dare.
With pricings.
No.
Pricings?
But I will go to Under the Cover in Kansas City, and we will set up a meetup like we did at Flutter. So romance girlies, there will be a thing for you. But yeah.
And that thing is Mikey.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey did go with me last time to Under the Cover and then sat there quietly.
That's right. That girl gave me the business.
Wait.
She looked at me, and I looked at her, and I said, hi.
I'm sorry. Is that what you call the business?
Yeah, that's all I needed.
God damn, it was so hot too.
All he needed to leave that sexy bookstore alone.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry, I would never match up to your werewolf, big donged guy.
That's right. You know it. That was where I got my copy of 365, the book.
It's a book? They made it a book?
It was a book first, Todd.
Yeah.
What?
Literature.
They wrote, no, we're not doing this. We are staying on track today. I can't do this. We have to talk about the movie.
I hated that bookstore because I was like, hey, do you have a copy of 1984? And they're like, no.
Why would they? It's a romance bookstore.
Why would they? We're living it.
They're limiting themselves. There's so many books.
Yeah, but those aren't the ones selling. Romance is the fastest growing genre in bookery, and so that's what they sell. It's on the door.
Crap for the masses.
Okay.
So, hey, I have a question that might seem out of nowhere.
Great.
What'd you guys think about the movie From Beyond?
How dare you ask us this?
You're really interrupting our conversation. We're trying to catch up. This is the only time we've been able to catch up, and you're really ruining it.
I'm just mustard that way.
Mustard!
Did I say your magic word, Paige?
I love that song.
Is Larry Fishburne running around right now?
No, Todd doesn't understand. It's fine. Everyone else listening understood the mustard.
There's a genre of music called hip-hop.
Yes.
Wow. First off, never heard of it.
One of the biggest hip hop producers.
Kendrick Lamar.
Well, no, Kendrick Lamar, artist, mustard producer.
We'll catch up with you on that later. I'll go first since Paige got a text.
Let's do it.
Sorry.
I loved it. No notes. It satisfied everything I wanted from a Mikey movie. I think it's the most Shakespearean of Mikey movies.
Say more about that.
Say less.
No, I need him to like really think about that critically. I need to know what he means.
Sure, I think it was maybe the most. It was a small scale and like a stage production.
That's very true.
Where the acting was very stage-like.
Yes, also true.
Yes.
And like Hamlet, this man is just on a journey of self-destruction that is out of his own control.
Yeah.
A tragedy, if you will.
Interesting.
It's kind of a parable about getting involved in various kinkeries, I think.
I don't know about that.
So it's very much like the Hellraiser franchise in that way.
Like most movies, the point of it is don't trust a woman because she'll go on and turn on your alternate reality dimension resonator while you're asleep and then make you lose your hair because she did it without asking anyone as permission.
Hey guys, when that dude's brain dick came out of his head the first time, did you like say out loud, what? Or was that just me?
Yeah, but then I was like, it was more like, What?
Yeah. You know, Todd, the brain is the biggest sexual organ.
I mean, tell me about it.
Your throbbing brain.
She's sonically massaging my pineal gland or whatever.
The thing coming out of his forehead was the least disturbing part of some of that series of events for me.
The most disturbing part was the fact that they expected me to look at Crawford, who's clearly wearing like a peach spray painted bicycle helmet, so that they can do the brain dick thing for like the back half of this movie. It was crazy.
It's nuts.
I loved it though.
How'd you lose your hair, Paige? Oh, a sandworm ate it off of me, sucked it off of me.
A Demogorgon slurped it off my scalp.
Sucked it off of me like I was a chicken wing covered in barbecue sauce.
Look, this is a classic love story between a nutsack with legs who wants to have Demolition Man sex with another scientist who totally understands his work. I don't see why you guys don't see the romance here.
Crawford is the most unlucky guy who's ever existed in my life, where he's like, I'm safe in a psychiatric facility, and this lady's like, how about I get you eaten by a thing twice?
Can I introduce you to Audrey too really quick?
What if we turn on the machine that makes us horny for death? I mean, much like Hellraiser 2, it did feel like a giant penis snake Paco jetted my brain by watching this movie. And I watched it. Here's the thing.
And I watched it.
Love is a strong word, but there's a lot going on here I like. I love all the visual effects. It's giving The Thing.
Yes, it is.
I thought the story was full-blown bonkers because it's basically like, what if we turn on the death machine that gives us boners, and then chaos ensues.
I mean, the plot blew my mind, Dick Page. I don't know why you had any complaints with it.
I have a mind boner.
I have a mind boner, and the only prescription is more cowbell. And
the problem is when I get a mind boner, I like to suck eyeballs out.
Oh my God, we'll talk about the eyeballs, because like he like sucks her eyeball and then like tongue fucks her eye socket. I'm sorry, that's a disgusting sentence, but that does happen in this movie. But Here's my thing. This movie is 86 minutes long. It's not even 90. I think they maybe only have 30 minutes of story. Like, not much happens.
That's all you need.
I think there's almost too much story.
Yeah. when they all went to the hospital, I was like, we need to stop. Go back.
Yeah.
Who were all these other people?
When they went to the hospital, I was like, how is this movie not over yet? And then, was I wrong, because multiple eyeballs got slurped.
The movie should have ended when the cop was like, we're never turning that on again, right? And I was like, no, that was terrible. We almost died.
Yeah.
But no, let's just spend the night here.
Yeah, no, nuke it from orbit. That's the only way to be sure.
Okay, my biggest criticism is if I see interdimensional creatures attack me, even if we turn the machine off, I'm not sleeping at that house.
Ever. No.
I mean, that house did look gross, but it did have a fun sex room, so.
But the way they say it, it's like those things are always there. You just can't see them.
That doesn't make me feel better.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So like, you're not really safe anywhere.
Microorganisms are everywhere too, but I don't want to see them. And also, if there are bad ones, I don't want to go in that house.
Right.
One time in the 8th grade, they showed us a picture of like microscopic water with all the shit in it and stuff like that.
The water bears, the thing that we talked about last episode.
Yeah, for eyebrows, eyelashes.
No, I mean like actual water. Like if you like put it under a lens or whatever, you can see like the microbials or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I haven't had a glass of water since then.
Oh,
it grossed me out.
Okay. We need to have a talk about the podcast right away, Mikey.
What age? What age was that?
My blood is pretty much oil at this point.
So many things are starting to click into place for me here.
If you cut me, do I not bleed Diet Coke? Like, come on.
Exactly, bitch.
I did think that her like licking leather and stuff is like why you wear that many layers and leather jackets. I was like, oh, that's what Todd does, I guess.
Mikey, if you think for the brief moment this movie became a Spinal Tap music video, I didn't love it, you're crazy. Like when she's like rubbing the leather glove on her face.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Barbara, you're killing it. I love it.
That house also was an interesting character because you have your SNN room, you have your mad scientist attic.
Right.
And then you have like your colonial American, like
downstairs kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like the original Don't Tread on Me flag. And then they had one of the original 13-starred circle flags, like the Betsy Ross flags or whatever.
A smarter man would say it's trying to say something.
Good thing I'm not a smarter man.
Not me.
Anytime there's that many American flags, I get nervous. I know it's my country, but I also know what we did.
And do.
But that "Don't Tread on Me" flag, for a hot second, I thought it was one of the space worms that no one could see.
That would be hilarious.
Because the snake looked weird.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I thought it was one of them.
The snake is just an eel.
Yeah.
It's just an eel.
Yeah.
You can see that at an aquarium.
Here's what I'm going to say.
They won't suck your face off at the aquarium.
Needs more sex.
What, the aquarium?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everywhere, but the aquarium and this movie.
This movie does need more sex. I mean, it really, really does.
I don't think anyone actually has sex in it. We get video of him doing some BDSM shit, and then that's pretty much it. That's still like in the realm of sex. Like, I'm not saying it's full ass blown sex, but it's like in the realm.
Well, he's impotent, right?
So I have a question about that, because when he's a sentient walking nutsack later, because he does look like a nutsack. He looks like a taint with a head.
Paige, his head was the dick. Like, you're right.
Oh, I know, right?
But his head was the dick. Yeah, he became a dickhead.
Yeah.
I thought everyone, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Mikey, did you get that? You got that too, right?
That's why I'm bringing this up. His body looks like a nutsack.
You're right. 100%.
Well, that because his pineal gland has become his main dick.
Yes. His mind boner became his boner.
Right. But then he's got like the weird sideways,
Yes.
like Flintstone legs.
Right.
That he uses to amble around.
You got to support your huge balls, Paige.
Right. Do you know that South Park episode where Randy Marsh's balls get gigantic and he bounces around on them?
Yeah.
Yes, I was thinking the exact same thing. He's got like a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, that's exactly what this looks like.
I don't think that's the main doctor, because that guy's head was 8 off. I think a creature absorbed the doctor, who then absorbed Crawford.
Sure.
But the doctor liked it. But there was a third entity in that group of fighting heads.
I agree with you. But that entity that is a sentient nutsack, things come out from between its legs that seem to be snake-like, but none of them seem to be penile. So my question is, do you think the doctor was impotent before he became a sentient nutsack or after?
Before.
Okay.
He definitely was before, yeah.
Interesting.
Because Crawford knew that, and that's why I think he got into BDSM, because he was able to cause pleasure with pain or whatever, because he couldn't get it up. There was no Viagra in 1988,
right,
or whatever.
There definitely was, but okay.
Not strong enough for him, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Viagra. Oh, no, wait. 89. 1 year.
1 year. He missed it. He destroyed the world for no reason.
Yeah. Approved by the FDA for the United States in 1998, but in the UK, 1989. Anyway.
Started as a high blood pressure pill.
It did. Crawford said that he had all 5 senses. He just wanted something more, which gives a very Hellraiser-y vibe to it of like,
it does.
Yes, it does.
Somebody that's always seeking, the extremes of excess. But yeah, then there's a giant nutsack and dick walking around this movie that then also has a brain dick.
This movie at some points is serious like that, and then some points it's not. And I love this film.
Sometimes it's serious.
At what point was it serious? Hang on, I do have to ask. At what point was it serious?
They took themselves seriously, which I love, and that's what makes things a Mikey Mary.
Oh, yes. That's why I think it's so funny, because they are playing it like it's like fucking Fight Club. Everyone's so serious.
The scene I fell in love with the film was when they break back into the house and the camera pans and the chalk outline has the head missing because his head is missing.
I love it so much. Every chalk outline in this movie is hilarious because Ken Foree has really tiny arms and legs.
Yes.
Oh, I laughed so hard at the chalk outlines.
Okay, I laughed very hard too, but it did make me wonder, if you're like a chalk outlinist, do you do that? Or do you just like dotted line for where the head was? Like,
it's a movie thing. There's no chalk outline.
Yeah, not anymore. Not now that we have photos, like instant photos and stuff. Yeah.
Not even instant. They would take photos back in the day. They would just leave the bodies there while they take the photos and then move the bodies.
Well, but then once they move the bodies, they did mark out where the body was, but now they'll usually like take pictures, then move the body, then take more pictures, and they have like X's and stuff where the bodies were. I look at a lot of crime scene photos. But okay, before we get into it, just one last thought.
Okay.
When all of those intergalactic tiny bugs ate Ken Foree's entire body. And then he was on the floor and it was just his head and his tiny bloody skeleton hands. Did anyone else feel like that scene in Tropic Thunder where he's like, when I get back to the world, I'm going to teach you how to juggle? That's all I can think of.
Yeah, same. It was amazing.
He deserved to die. And I'm going to tell you why right now.
No, Ken Foree's the best. I was so sad when he died.
His character was overconfident. And I'm going to tell you why. He saw monsters.
We know why. He does half of this movie soaking wet in just his Speedo.
Yes, he does.
That's the thing.
And that's why Paige was sad when he died.
Yeah, I get it. But like, he knows there are monsters in the house trying to kill him. He repeatedly just sleeps in Speedos and like
I wouldn't even sleep in the house.
Yeah.
If I had to, it would be fully clothed with my shoes still on.
And take the creatures out. He's assigned there because this person who was committed for committing a murder and they want to prove he's not insane. He's still that comfortable to just sleep like that while that guy could be up murdering everybody else in the house?
They should have just Shutter Island that guy.
I mean, I think they did. I think that's what happened here.
I also don't think Barbara Crampton had the authority to be like, you're going to release this patient who's in mind jail so that we can continue his experiments because I am for no reason interested.
Well, yeah.
I did love the pseudoscience, Scientology-esque psychiatry in the beginning where she's like, you may have heard of my work, but I don't, want people locked up in institutions. And the other people are like, well, we don't want you digging in people's brains and experimenting. And I'm like, you're both kind of wrong, I think. Mostly wrong about all of this. I wish I could just go up to the state hospital right now and be like, I need to check out Sam. We're going to prove he's sane. Because I think what he's saying is true. I'm going to take him down there to that house.
We're going to find out. We're going to go on a ride along and see if he really is Jesus. Yeah.
Have you guys tried that?
Tried it.
Guys, I brought him this distilled water from Kroger. Let's see what he can do with it.
Let's see what's up. I'm hoping for a Sauvignon Blanc.
Are you kidding me? A 2,000-year-old Savvy Blanc? Come on.
Savvy Blanc. Savvy B.
The wine would be brand new, people. He would just have converted the water.
Okay, then I have a question.
Oh, ye of little faith. Okay.
So, he touches the water, right? And it becomes wine.
Right. Yeah.
Is that what gives it the age? What makes it? Is it
It's brand new. It's like a red blend.
But he's 2,000 years old.
But yeah, because that's the thing. It's if it's brand new, wine is an aged drink. So I think he gets to pick what kind. So if this was me, if I was the Lord and I touched water and was like, this is a 1998 Fruitopia, it's that it's whatever I deign it to be. So maybe he's just it's a 1976 Savvy B, wonderful year, great vintage.
I mean, I would touch that wine as Lord and say, this is a 1998 Ecto Cooler with Everclear.
Oh my God, put it in my veins. Do you know how much chaos I would cause if I was just mainlining Ecto Cooler and grain alcohol? Be a problem real fast.
Childhood.
Childhood?
You never had an Ecto Cooler?
Not and alcohol.
Missing out.
Missing out.
Anything fruity can get mixed with alcohol. That's what I know. Adult Capri Suns and shit.
Resonator. I barely know her.
Oh, man. Do we want to talk about this really horny movie?
I do.
This movie's great. This is a top 10 Mikey movie.
I mean, this is peak Mikey movie for sure.
Before we get into it, I do just have to go on record as saying that Barbara Crampton uses too much teeth.
Wait. I have a question with the film. That actually brings up a question.
Oh,
that brings up a question for me. Yeah.
Does it bring up a question? Okay.
At the end, when she's tied up and then the snakes free her.
They don't free her. They bite the chains because she's moving them. It's ridiculous. Please continue.
But okay, so that's what I was like, are they friends with her?
No.
Or is she tricked them somehow?
No, it's because it's so dumb. It's because they only attack what's moving. They're a Tyrannosaurus Rex, more or less.
Yeah.
So she's moving her arms and they bite off the things that are moving. It's so,
right.
Yes, it's perfect. It's great.
And those were bees that ate the guy? Bees?
B movie props. Yes, they were.
Yeah. See, life finds a way.
And this movie is one big pile of shit, although it's very fun. I really did like it. But yes, Paige, and I'm sorry for derailing us immediately. Let's please go through the movie scene by scene.
Let's do it. We open on Crawford typing something on an old computer and it says,
at the time it was a new computer.
Okay, fine. But Jesus touched it and it was a 2,000-year-old Apple IIe.
I knew it. Okay. So he can't control. Okay.
That's what I said, right? Anyway, He turns on this machine that's like a bunch of computers made out of plywood. Real fun. And then it activates a machine in the middle of the room that seems to be one of those like Spencer's orbs that if you touch it, the lightning touches your finger.
But like, it's like real big though.
Real big. And then like 4 purple tuning forks.
Yes. Which I think like it has to be a reference to Phantasm, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like Lovecraftian because it's like a different form of technology. It's like an older version of it.
Yeah, Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft.
So this is based on a short story, I believe a short story by Lovecraft. I do think it takes some liberties, but cosmic horror as a genre in which Lovecraft is contained, I think Phantasm would kind of fit in that, but it's this idea of vibrations allowing for travel between dimensions. Like that's what,
yes,
at the center of this movie, it's the vibrations that stimulate the overgrowth of the pineal gland, which then gives you the ability to give people boners and kill them with dimensional bees.
It's essentially like the brown note, but it's the brain note. Like they just figure out how to play the brain note that stimulates your pineal gland or whatever in your brain and gives you a mind boner.
You don't understand that seeing people through predator vision is the sexiest way to observe people.
It's so beautiful.
You're so beautiful.
It's so fucking beautiful.
Suck me my eyeballs.
Oh God. We gotta wait.
Sorry.
The tuning fork lights up, but he only turns on one of the forks. And a little blue eel, he's like, oh my God, a little purple space eel. And then it bites his face and he's like, oh, and turns off the machine.
I, at this point, paused it and we were like 3 minutes in and I literally was like, I have no fucking idea what is happening. It is like,
no, this is good.
Bonkers from Jump Street. It was nuts.
Why would we waste time explaining that? This movie sets it up.
Why? Honestly, why would we ever explain it? That's like, they never sort of explain any of that.
There's just a resonance, your pineal gland doesn't see the horrors of the universe.
If your brain gets horny enough, Paige, you will start to see visions.
Well, it's not just sexual, because it says the gland is the sixth sense, which is like the third eye.
Right. It's the predator eye.
So then she goes, I think all schizophrenics who are hallucinating are hearing things, have an enlarged gland because they're just sensing more than the general population.
And that's all medical science, right, Mikey? Like, you've proven that.
I thought that was a very interesting... So one time I was working as a psych tech in a hospital in college, and this woman was admitted to the psychiatric hospital and was hallucinating and all this stuff, and they did a CAT scan and she had a brain tumor, so they discharged. They're like, oh, you do not have a psychiatric problem,
right?
So they discharged her home. But schizophrenia is a medical problem, so there is there's the dopamine hypothesis, there's medicine that make it better,
right?
There's a genetic component, so there could possibly be like an underlying cause. Not this, of course. Right. But it was interesting and fun in the lore because I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense. Not for real.
Yeah, it sounds like it's like plot, like maybe not right, but like plausible enough for the movie to make sense,
I was down with it.
Yeah.
So these things are like alternate reality. We can't see them. They're like infrared light. And then this tuning fork, you can sense it all. And they I guess interact with it. That's the part that doesn't make sense.
It does bite him. Like it bites him right here. Like when I saw them at first, I was like, oh, okay, I guess they're just like eels. Oh my God, it bit him? What is happening?
Yeah, what is happening? And why is it happening? Who is this happening to? What is going on? Great cold open, honestly. Hell of a cold open.
Any cold open that gets me to write in my notes, did a dick just bite a man? Is a good cold open in my book.
And the answer is multiple times in this movie. Because the literally, and here's the thing, of all the movies that have penile shaped villains, this is one of them. It's not the best, but it is the one. I would argue Alien's the best, but whatever.
I would say this is more of a Event Horizon type deal.
Yeah.
That snake is more of it's from hell, like it's like eel, but with hell in the front, like H-E-E-L.
It's from
eel.
Yeah.
That joke doesn't work at all, but it's dumb enough where you might want to keep it.
Oh, no, we're keeping that.
Honestly, not many people will laugh, but if they read the transcript, they'll love it.
Love it. Back to what Mikey was saying about the pineal gland. There is another horror movie that we've been wanting to do for the show that we just haven't had the chance to do because it didn't fit into a month, that deals with the idea that vibrations in the pineal gland can cause dimensional shifts.
Synchronic, yeah.
Synchronic, which is fucking great. I feel like that's one of those like...
We could have done Pineal Month.
We could have done Pineal Gland Month and just did 2 movies, this and Synchronic. Anyway, so he runs downstairs after Dick bit his face. And
I'd run downstairs too, honestly.
right. He knocks on the door and he's like, Edward, Dr. Pretorius. And Edward comes out in what I can only describe as a hair shirt. This man's like torso hair situation is wild.
I'm pretty sure he could brush his shoulder hair.
Not only that, he had no hair below his tits. It was like he was wearing a hair crop top.
Honestly, Burt Reynolds wishes.
Just like over the tits and then over the shoulders, but it was just a crop top made of hair.
Full length, mind you, all the way down to the like fingers.
Yeah.
Hair only grows up. It doesn't grow down. That's why that's like that.
But how do you explain this though?
It's growing up out of your head.
Yeah, but then down.
It's not going down out of your head.
Well, but I mean, in that case, then if he was like, if his skin is down, then all hair grows out, which means that it should be growing wherever.
Hang on, Mikey. Do you really think this is a real thing?
No.
Okay.
Why would I think that?
I fully think you still think that, and you're covering for you thinking that because you realize it's silly.
Bro, no.
Okay.
Because ball hair grows down, obviously.
Exactly. That was going to be my example.
Yeah. It's directly to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it looks like you dropped a sticky egg into a pile of hair shavings.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect description. Put that in a textbook.
Yeah, tattoo it on your forehead. Anyway.
I'll tattoo it on my nutsack.
Hey, listeners, if you got a nutsack tattoo, tell us about how that went. I'm sure it's an adventure.
Well, the joke was that it was like a tattoo of what that thing actually looks like.
Yeah, but you have to stretch it out, and then it would be a small tattoo on your butt.
No, I know. I thought it was funny. It was like funny imagery. Yeah.
It was a good multi-layered ball joke for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while to catch up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like that this movie is a celebration of where we keep pee.
I don't care where women keep pee.
Not we, like collectively as a society, we. Like, I think that monster might be full of pee on one side and jizz on the other side.
I don't know if monsters pee or jizz. Because he says he doesn't want to have sex with her. He wants to just suck her mind out.
Well, he's also wearing the hot dog fingers from Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I think you mean Everywhere All at Once is wearing the From Beyond fingers from Beyond.
Fingers.
Yeah.
I did think it was funny that he ripped her shirt off and then grew creepy fingers to molest her body.
From farther away.
I was like, oh, that's concerning.
I'm going to do that next time.
Oh, God.
I need to do foreplay more like Phantom of the Opera style like that. Just rip a shirt open and then like creep my hand up in the front with like jazz fingers. I'm going to touch you.
I so badly right now want to shoot just like a scene, very appropriately, very tastefully, of you like making out with a girl and like getting hot and heavy, and you like start like going down on her, and then you come up wearing the Phantom of the Opera mask, and it's just like one half of your face is covered in that white mask.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
No one cared who I was until I hit that bean.
Oh.
Where's the Joker? Where is she?
Did you say, where is the choker?
I said Joker.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were making a sex pun. Sorry. My bad.
That would have been good.
Misheard Mikey jokes are funnier than Mikey jokes sometimes.
Every girl is the Riddler because you don't know what they mean or understand. Women are hard to understand.
So, Mikey, how's the dating going?
It's good.
Great.
It's your feminist. It's
Rap it in reverse it.
See, you understood me. We're getting somewhere. Mustard.
Hip hop jokes.
You can tell they're being made because Todd's not laughing.
Yeah. Well, the other night at Roast Battle, somebody was like, "You're so white." During Kendrick's song, you yell, "Mayo!" I was like, yes. Anyway, so he gets the doctor, the professor guy, and he comes up in his robe and he's like, "I'm turning on all 4 tuning forks." He's like, "Do you feel it, prophet?"
He's like, "My brain's got the boner."
My brain is so fucking hard right now. My brain is rock hard.
I mean, that's really the energy he throws out, and Crawford's like, "I don't care."
Yeah.
It is very like, fuck you science energy, like from Channing Tatum in, 21 Jump Street or whatever?
Yes.
It's like that kind of energy.
But so Crawford's like, "Hey, the computer's being weird. I'm going to turn it off." He's like, "Oh no, it's turning itself on." Because like,
Because the tuning forks.
Then Edward, the Dr. Pretorius, is like, "Something's coming." And I was like, "I think it's you, buddy."
It's about to be his perineal gland or whatever.
Could it be? Yes, it could. Giant snakes coming to eat my wood.
Shouldn't
It'll
it
be there.
Something's coming. I don't know what it is, but it's gonna bite on my face. A space dig is coming. Paige, I could probably go on longer. Like, I love West Side Story.
Todd, every woman's like Bane, because like they're like the bane of my existence.
So how's the dating life going, Mikey?
You swiping right?
Yeah.
That's the sigh of a man who has to be like, "Yeah, tell me about your crystals."
So, what crystal do I need to like be happy?
What color is my aura? Yellow, you say. Interesting.
Mine's red with white at the top. I've gone to an aura photographer. If you can imagine me at such a thing, yes, there was heavy skepticism on my face during the photograph.
And it showed up in the color of your aura graph, okay?
Yeah. There is an aura photographer in East Nashville. Yes, a woman did drag me there.
Todd, when I come to Nashville, guess what we're doing?
Paige, I'd love to be invited. I was hurt that I wasn't invited the first time, and I'm just hearing about it now.
And then we can go to Five Daughters Bakery after.
There's like 4 of them. We'll go.
There's 4 $5? That's so confusing.
There's one in the airport, Paige. I could bring you one to Kansas City.
But would it tell me my aura? I need to know my aura before I eat it.
Before you eat your aura?
No, before I eat the donuts, Todd. Damn it. Listen.
I thought I was listening.
Anyway, so shit goes off the rails. And immediately other stuff starts coming through, and then we cut to outside the house. The windows explode. The lady next door is like, "I'm calling in a noise complaint, and you said that you would bring the squad car," but then her dog wants to get in.
I think her dog was embarrassed by like the dog's mother being like the Karen of the neighborhood again. So it jumped out the window. It was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
You don't think the dog smelled the sex and was like, "Let's go"?
Oh, yeah.
In the lady's defense, like, it looks and sounds as if they're just shooting guns out of the attic.
That's true.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mikey. Do you not believe in the castle doctrine? They have a right to defend themselves against interdimensional space dicks.
But are dimensional bullets enough, or do they need to shoot their shot from their space sticks? You know what I'm saying?
As you can tell later in the movie, bullets do work a bit, but then he loses that gun somehow and has to go get a kitchen knife.
Yeah.
Man, when he just throws it and we're supposed to believe that one of the space sticks mind made him, I guess.
I looked away for 2 seconds when that was happening. When I looked back, I was like, "Where's the gun?" And so y'all are going to have to help me.
It got magnetized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll explain it to you. It
Magnetized.
flew away out of his hands, and we were like, "Oh,
Got it.
simplest solution is usually the correct one."
Occam's razor. Anyway, she goes to chase her dog into this freaky deaky house, and this is when she passes the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that I thought was the space eel, and now I'm sad it's not. But again, too many American flags, because when there's this many, especially the old ones, you're like, what about super old America exactly do you appreciate? Like, that's how I feel when I see too many of them. And I'm not in a museum.
Do you think there is a form of BDSM where you really get off on like restrictive beliefs?
I mean, Yes. I've been on Twitter.
I thought you were going to be like patriotic BDSM, like to where you're like tied up by Uncle Sam.
Don't stop restricting my rights, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Like some old dude with a beard, top hat, and like American flag suit comes in and whips you.
Yeah, you fucking like that? You fucking like that taxation without representation, you little bitch? Yeah.
Take that gerrymandering. Oh.
I mean, like, they're like, oh, repress me harder.
Oh, I'm about to change the boundaries of your county, girl. You're going to need 2 forms of ID to vote. Yeah. And I'm only going to tell you a week before the election, so you have no way to make that happen.
Yeah, women are like Kite Man. They like string you along. The lesser known villain, but it works really well with the joke.
What? Villain from what?
Batman, but he is just part man, part kite.
He blows away.
He was not that famous or successful. So
I'm sorry, is that real? That can't be real.
That's a real DC villain.
What?
Oh, this is like people trying to guess my celebrity story in the Romancing the Pod group, and they're just like, I bet it was Paul Rudd. I was like, bitch, if I met Paul Rudd, you'd hear about it. I'd be saying who it was.
Paige, I had 2 people DM me today and ask me.
And you don't know who it is. You have no idea.
I literally said to them, I have no idea.
You have no idea.
And I truly do not know. Although I'm like 90% sure you told me, but I forgot.
I did, but it was somebody, you've never seen anything they've done. Mikey's only seen one thing they've done. And they're a person that like the Marvel thing is just one piece and it's a small part. And like they've done a bunch of other stuff, mostly behind the scenes, which is why we were at the same event.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's not important.
Okay.
Not important. But people are just like, did she meet Anthony Mackie? I was like, no.
No.
Like, I would tell y'all if it was that important.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't tread on me, Space Eel Flag. Yeah, Americana BDSM.
Get into it.
Get into it.
Churn my butter.
Oh, you want to put your state in my union?
Oh, jeez.
Talk Potomac to me.
I got. I want to be your Yankee Doodle daddy.
Yes!
For sure, yes.
Anyway.
This is a message from sponsor Intuit TurboTax.
Taxes was waiting and wondering and worrying if you were going to get any money back.
And then waiting, wondering, and worrying some more.
Now Taxes is matching with a TurboTax expert who can do your taxes as soon as today.
An expert who gives your taxes their undivided attention as they work on your return while you get real-time updates on their progress so you can focus on your day.
An expert who will find you every deduction possible and file every form, every investment, everything with 100% accuracy.
All so you can get the most money back guaranteed.
No waiting, no wondering, no worries.
Now this is taxes.
Get an expert now on TurboTax.com.
Only available with TurboTax Live full service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
This new year, why not let Audible expand your life by listening? Explore over 1 million audiobooks, podcasts, and exclusive Audible originals that'll inspire and motivate you. Tap into your well-being with advice and insight from leading professionals and experts on better health, relationships, career, finance, investing, and more. Maybe you want to kick a bad habit or start a good one. If you're interested in learning how to master your emotions and hearing scientifically backed advice for using your emotions as a tool, may I suggest Shift by psychologist and bestseller author Dr. Ethan Kross? Trust me, listening on Audible can help you reach the goals you set for yourself. Start listening today when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
So she chases her dog up to the top of the stairs.
Step Uncle Sam.
Oh no, I'm stuck in a country with no rights. Oh no.
Did we just invent an even worse porn genre?
But like Findom, but it's just buying eggs.
and then fertilizing them.
Anyway. She chases her dog up there, and just as she goes to get her dog, Crawford uses an axe, Shining style, to try and get out of that door, and she runs away. And as they run outside, the squad car comes up and immediately arrests Crawford.
I thought it was crazy that the door was locked. He could not get out the door, so he got the axe. He takes the axe, he throws it through the center of the door. It does not break the door down, but he is magically able to just open the door at that point.
I thought about this. So how I deconstructed the scene was he was taking the axe to the resonator and he was like hyped up and then he destroyed the resonator. So he threw the axe at the door like the axe throwing place on his way out because he was just like fucking psyched.
So the axe, he didn't, okay. He was across the fucking room when he threw that.
Yeah.
Actually, I love that reading.
Yeah, because he was rock fucking hard, and he was just like, oh, God.
Because he broke the machine down. He's like, fuck yeah. And he throws the axe like, oh, I gotta leave. But the axe is in there. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, the most American thing that could have happened.
Holy shit, I love that.
And I love that he just like looks at the woman and like runs past her. Also, love the police for pulling a gun on an unarmed man who's yelling for help running towards them.
Oh, that plus... I love that the lady's running away from him, but she's running too slow that he then runs around her.
Yeah, he runs past her, which is exactly what I would do.
Right?
Like, guys, if we're ever together and something tragic is happening and we have to run, I'm winning. I might die as well, but I'm not dying first in a foot race.
I'm not even going to try in a foot race. I'm going to hide and let you guys run in the open.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight whatever it is because I'd rather die in a fight.
All right.
I was thinking of like a nuclear bomb kind of thing. Like,
oh, well, you can't run from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all dead at that point.
I was thinking like not like if Jason was 5'7".
I'm sorry. Are you just describing like Kieran Culkin?
No, just a guy named Jason. That's what you're describing is Jason Stackhouse.
Jason the villain is like real fucking big. So I probably wouldn't fight him.
We know. We read his autobiography. It was all about him.
But like, yeah, if someone's trying to kill me, he's like 6'7", 280, I'd probably still try to run.
I'd still try to run too, yeah. Because I can outrun you.
All we got to do is trip Todd, and then we're good to go.
I still think I'd beat you.
Oh, we got to I throw a stick in your back.
I have an electric skateboard.
That's true. He does have an electric skateboard.
No, he doesn't. He has to wait for it to come in the mail because he ruined his electric skateboard by trying to skateboard over wet stuff, and that's not even how he got his black eye. He gave us a suspicious story that we don't quite believe yet.
Yeah.
Natalie, you got some questions to answer?
She's going to be editing this episode, and I'm sure she's laughing because she knows I'm an idiot.
She's editing that out. Yeah, the black eye never comes up in the live thing.
Yeah, sure. It was a door. It was definitely a door. I've done that many a time in retail, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're like arresting that guy, an unarmed man screaming for help. And the lady's like, oh, good, you guys have it covered. Oh, shit, my dog's still in the house. And goes to get the dog. And the dog is chewing on the professor's body.
Right.
Cut to credits.
Right.
They are long. They are boring. Nothing happens. We come back from the credits at a hospital.
Psychiatric hospital.
A psychiatric hospital where my friend Margaret's mom is the one who's like, yeah, I don't think we should just let them out.
I'm sorry, is that really your friend Margaret's mom?
Yes, yeah, no, because her dad
really?
directed the movie and that was his wife. And the second she came on screen, I was like, that's gotta be Margaret's mom. And then I Googled it and I was like, it is indeed.
That's hilarious.
That's a fun fact.
I do think it's funny that as Barbara's walking down like the hallway here and she's like getting glimpses of like the schizophrenic people saying things in the worst ADR or whatever.
Like Silence of the Lambs?
Yes, but terrible ADR.
Mm-hmm.
She then goes up to a guy and like you see that she's like peeping on him jerking off in that room. And then she's like, oh my God. And then she continues to stand there and continue watching him until the doctor, your friend's mother, comes in and is like, Barbara, stop, look, come over. Come this way.
Come here.
He like has to call her away. I thought that was hilarious.
Can I just say, that seems like a very uncomfortable position to jerk off in.
Well, sometimes you got to make do.
Yeah, you got to figure it out.
Ah, all right. Does he not have furniture?
How do you think monks do it?
Monks have furniture.
Not all of them.
Psycho.
They took a vow of.
They have a bed.
Who knows?
I don't know why, but when Mikey said that, I was like, with their feet?
That checks out.
I mean, at least like lay down on the ground. He's like crunched up in, you know what?
Paige, this 9-pack isn't gonna build itself.
Paige, he's not in the healthy hospital, okay?
He's got abs of feel instead of abs of steel.
And you see Billy over here. He has been committed because he masturbates weirdly.
We caught him trying to defile a couch in the lobby. But next week, he'll be a senator.
It's technically vice president, but yeah.
I refuse.
Here's an old joke. What's that monk? What's the Saturday Night Live skits where the guy's the monkey and he does the app?
Mr. Peepers.
Yeah, masturbates like Mr. Peepers, and he looks back just like But she gave him the eye contact he needed to, complete.
Oh yeah, he's definitely spitting out the apple, if you know what I'm saying. Sorry, that's a Mr. Peepers reference.
Oh, it's apple shaped. I don't like that. It was a great Mr. Peepers joke, but now I picked no. Anyway,
it was also too real.
Yeah. But so they introduce her to Crawford, and she's just like, hey, I'm actually familiar with your research in the pineal gland. That's why I'm here, because secretly I believe that shit, and let's go get freaky.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, no, we should give him a CAT scan. What? Why? No reason.
I have to ask a question.
Sure.
Did Barbara just see a newspaper article about this crime and she was like, I got to go break this guy out so he can do some more of his experiments? Why is she here? I don't understand how she got there.
A telepathic message through them nips.
She just tuned in Tokyo? What do you mean?
Yeah. She twisted him till she got to the right frequency, and then it was go to this hospital.
I think she put a receiver in her nipple last week.
Yeah.
Oh man, when she's in the mirror and she only puts the lipstick on, I was like, ugh, really? That's all you could do? Last week she put it in her tit.
For safekeeping.
That was so wild last week. I'll never recover.
There's so much space in there that's not utilized,
That's true. That is true. Love to have an extra pocket. Do you know how many drugs I could keep in there? Oof.
Gross.
Just a whole bottle of NyQuil.
Okay, if you had a human pouch.
A papoose, you mean?
I love that this is where this is going. Let's go.
What would you keep in it?
Where is it?
What? Okay, let's just do belly.
Belly pouch? You see, here's the thing. You can't get to it easily in public.
Okay, it's on your okay. It's here. It's in your boob.
Boobs? Okay.
You can put your hand in a boob and pull something out.
It's like a breast pocket.
Yeah.
That's where I keep my wallet and shit for sure.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to wear V-necks all the time, but you know what? Worth it. But also snacks. I would keep some snacks in there so that I could just kind of secretly and
I think I'm gonna throw up
in the movies and stuff. What would you keep in your pouch, Mikey?
A gun.
Oh, well, that also makes sense. America and whatnot. Anyway,
this boob's a deadly weapon.
Like Con Air.
Or Austin Powers, whatever.
Oh yeah, that too. I guess I was just thinking of Con Air, where his arms and hands are registered weapons. Not his feet though.
Or his boobs.
Nicolas Cage, register them boobs. But so they scan him and they're like, his pineal gland is fucking huge. And she's just like, I knew it. I knew this man was primed for head dick.
I do love that Barbara, as this, I don't know, therapist, comes in and orders a doctor to do a CAT scan. I was like, that's not how this chain of hierarchy works in the medical field.
Yeah.
Doctor's pretty much at the top.
Yep.
But that's exactly what she does. And she gets this CAT scan where she verifies that, yes, his mind is currently in a baby boner stage.
Yes.
You're overthinking this part. This is just to get us where we need to go.
So this is the foreplay is what you're saying.
Which is to get condoms for the brain penis? What?
No. So our three heroes are going to go off on an adventure.
Well, they're going to go do experiments at least.
Yeah, she more or less just breaks him out of mind jail here.
Yeah.
She obviously went through the correct criminal justice proceedings to get custody of him, reprimanded into it with her. And then they go to be like, I'm going to prove you're sane.
I love that there's no downtime in the movie at all, more or less. She takes him from this place to the house where they think he killed the guy.
To an active crime scene, Todd.
Right.
They're definitely still trying to solve that man's murder.
I know. And she takes him from the hospital to this place where they start doing this thing. There's no downtime. There's no we're going to go to a motel, sleep the night off, and then we'll get started in the morning. They're like, fuck it. We're starting these experiments in 20 minutes. We got to get there now.
20 minutes. And it's an active crime scene where a man's head was twisted off.
Yeah.
They made a point to say that. But they're going to start the experiment all over again. And he's like not super into it, but he, plugs everything in. He gets it started. We do see the hilarious chalk outline.
I do want to point out that as they're walking in the front door, the house number is 666.
I did notice that as well. Yeah.
I did not notice that. I feel really sad.
Yep. You only see it like once.
Yeah.
So they turn the machine on and they see the cool little penis eels and jellyfish. And Ken Foree reaches, which by the way, we totally glossed over. He shows up with a van. He's like a sergeant that they've assigned to them to monitor the situation.
He used to be a pro football player.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he is like 6'4" and he's in great shape. So I get it.
Yeah, from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, this is Dawn of the Dead guy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He's the namesake for in Shaun of the Dead when Shaun works at Foree Electric. It's named after Ken Foree because of Dawn of the Dead.
Nice.
So, yeah. But he makes them dinner. We get a weird cut, so we don't know time has passed, but it indeed has. Because for a second I was like, did he poison the chicken and dumplings? No. They just have been working for a long time and Barbara Crampton fell asleep. But so they get it on. The eels are there, the jellyfish are there, and one of them bites Ken Foree because he moved. And at this point, they're trying to tell him not to move, trying to get everyone to avoid moving, but the machine gets really powerful. And Barbara Crampton or Catherine grabs onto Crawford and is stroking his arm because apparently not only does the machine let you talk to other dimensions, but it just makes you super fucking horny.
Yeah, it does.
Just like if you were podcasting.
I'm my least horny when podcasting.
No, I mean when people listen to us,
Oh yeah. Y'all get bricked up.
Resonated.
I kind of wanted to, anytime they turned it on, knowing that they get horny because they turned it on, for it to display slow jams.
Or just Al Green, bow, 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 bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some Boys to Men. It'd be great.
Some eels to men. I will bite you too, cause you want me to.
But also, somebody recut this with Genuine's Pony anytime they turn the machine on.
Yeah. Honestly, just no changes, just the music is My Pony anytime it's on.
Yeah, that's it. But once Ken Foree gets bit, they're like, okay, maybe we turn this off, but then they can't because who should show up but the professor, fully nude except for that weird crop top made of hair. And he's like, touch me, I'm real. Touch me, touch it.
Why don't you want to touch me, bro?
Touch it.
Just for a second. Just touch it for a second.
Just touch my hairy shoulder. Just don't mind the shoulder tail.
Ugh. Well, but he does touch his shoulder and his hands kind of sink into it.
Like he's putty.
And he's like, it's just my body, my spirit and my mind is still here. And then he rips his face off. And I was like, this Hellraiser is fuck.
It is pretty Hellraiser.
My whole body is moist for you.
Oh my God. Later, when there was all of his goop was coming down the stairs, I was like, damn.
Yo, he gooped up.
He gooped up. Just snail trailing all through this house.
He damn near flooded the basement, Paige.
Damn near flooded the basement. Ginge would be proud.
Yeah.
He needs to get tested for sandworms.
Yeah. Well, because this guy pulls them off his face and he's like, blah, 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 all the worms. And they turn the machine off and they're like, what the fuck was that? And they go downstairs to eat breakfast and they're like, what the fuck just happened?
Is this guy sexy Beetlejuice?
I think Beetlejuice is sexy Beetlejuice.
Pretorius.
Don't say it 3 times or he'll shoot and kill his girlfriend.
That's Pistorius. Although I did write in my notes the first time I heard his name, I was like, oh, is this Oscar's father? And then I heard it again and I was like, oh, it's a different name. My bad.
Pistorius.
But do you think the sandworm is Beetlejuice's dick?
I've always thought that.
Right. It makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Asking the real questions.
Right?
I think that's what Jesus meant when he wrote Dune.
Ooh.
Isn't that? That's how it works, right? That's how it happened?
No.
I don't know what you guys believe.
Yes, you do. Because your people added a book onto it.
My people?
Yeah, technically, Joseph Smith wrote Dune.
Yeah.
You mean steampunk Scientology?
Yeah, steampunk Scientology. That's what's fucking up, man. Xenu with goggles.
Those goggles are called the Uranum Thummum Page.
Then after Paul Atreides left Dune, he went to visit the indigenous peoples of America.
That is true. Yeah.
Atreides in Duncan, Idaho. Oh my God. Oh my God.
The signs were there, Paige.
It was there the whole time. It all fits.
That's you get your own planet. It all makes sense.
Wait till Baron Harkonnen hears about this. Oh my goodness. Anyway, at breakfast, they're just like, yo, what the fuck did we see? He like ripped his whole face off. Yeah, but like, were all of you guys like so fucking like bricked up though? Like, I'm hard as fuck right now. Like,
I know. Ken Foree is open about his hard-ons with his coworkers in a weird way.
Well, they were all just like, but it was sexy, right? Like, terrifying, right? But like, yeah, though, right?
Ken was really trying to set up a threesome and no one else was picking up the clues.
Missing out.
Like he's openly talking about getting hard and then later he's walking around for half of this movie in just his Speedos.
And he is the voice of reason.
He is.
He's the voice of reason.
He literally is.
He's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. Like, we could get boners anywhere. Let's not get them here.
You can. I don't need tuning fucks to make me hard.
But I love that this breakfast is the equivalent of like a Twitter thread that's like, hear me out. And it's just a picture of Bill Skarsgård from Nosferatu.
Right.
They're like, hear me out. Bounce on it crazy style.
When you said dumplings, is that what they ate the night before that he scooped out of the pan?
It looked like chicken and dumplings, but there was not a lot of stew. It might have been stew.
I thought it was shepherd's pie.
I thought it was shepherd's pie as well.
I was like, maybe it's shepherd's pie. I couldn't quite figure out because there was not a lot of stuff below the biscuits. Yeah.
It looked disgusting.
It did not look good. It was the wrong pan for that dish.
It was the most disgusting thing that happens in this film.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
I'd have tried them.
I'd have tried them too. I love biscuits.
I mean, I would have ate it because it's rude. It's rude not to eat someone's food that they cook for you.
Right. That's why he's serving that man sausage up on a platter.
For the rest of this movie, he is, Paige.
Oof. Anyway, so they're all like, wow, now that we've been up all night, rock hard, fighting monsters, let's take a nap. And so Ken Foree goes and naps full Speedo. And then Crawford goes and naps. And then Barbara Crampton, a.k.a. Catherine, goes and naps. But then she wakes up and she's like,
You know what would be real sexy?
You know what would be real fucking sexy? If I like turn the machine on again.
100% that's what she does though. She like runs up to it.
It's like a giant vibrator with tuning forks.
She wants to sonically get off, Mikey.
Look, collect them rings, girl.
The sandworm rings?
No, the sonic ring.
Oh.
She wants to sonically get off.
Oh, God.
She's trying to get some tails. You know what I'm saying?
She's trying to get through that green hill zone, bitch.
She's trying to get that Dr. Robot dick.
I got a better one. You got to get up there as far as the knuckles.
Yes.
But anyway, I hated that she's like, actually, I'm going to go turn this motherfucking thing on. And you're like, no.
I'm going to go sit on this washing machine and see what can happen.
The thing that this movie is missing the most, post-nut clarity, because I've gone in some terrible situations for boners.
Welcome back to our segment, Post-Nut Clarity.
And, you know, the next morning at breakfast, I'm like, that was not worth that. That was not worth it. That's not a good idea. This wasn't a good idea. I'm not safe. It's time to leave this place.
So you think she was turning it on because she was trying to get Ken Foree hard again so she could go ride it?
No, I don't
And then she just like, it like backfired?
No, I think she did not have post-nut clarity. She was like, I'm going to go do that again. I would like to go.
Yeah, she was suffering with what we call in the business pre-nut cloudiness.
Cloudiness with a chance of eat balls. Yeah, so she turns it on and they immediately stand at attention.
They do.
Because they're just like, whoa, hello.
Crawford's like, I feel it.
I feel it. I feel it in my boner. And so he like runs upstairs. He's like, turn the machine off. And she's like, no. And just starts making out with him. He's like, okay, maybe no, we got to save you, man. Well, maybe not. No, it's fine. Then Ken Foree comes up there and is like, we got to fucking shut this shit off. Like, no.
Yeah.
But they end up, like, they can't turn it off. And Edward, Professor Pretorius, looks like Monstro Elizasu.
Yes. Dude, when he starts coming out of Professor Elizasu at the end, I was laughing. It was awesome.
It was great. I was like, he's going to crawl onto the Walk of Fame and this movie is going to have a message. No. So Ken Foree and Crawford run down to try and hit the breakers to try and turn off the machine. And that's when they get down to the basement. that's full of water and a fucking demogorgon worm.
This is that sandworm we were talking about, though. And it is like they have damn near flooded the basement. Because Ken Foree is like knee deep in water at one point. Actually, that point is when he pulls the electricity out of the wall.
Right.
So that would have killed him and everyone else in that water, but I guess they're fine.
They're fine. But yeah, he pulls the electricity out, which saves Crawford, but he loses all his hair.
Technically, that water is resonated from another dimension, so as soon as it loses power, the water disappears, so he couldn't get electrocuted.
That is actually true.
I didn't realize the water was from a different dimension. That actually, honestly, like, that explains it, and I'm okay with it at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
Well, that's why the worm disappears too, and Crawford just appears, but like his hair's already partially digested, and his skin's all fucked up, I'm assuming from the stomach acid.
Well, actually, Todd, the water is from the fuck dimension, you know?
Yeah, where girls get wet no matter what.
I do love that, like, from the moment she turned it on and he woke up and all of this stuff happened, it's like 10 minutes. Like, it's just been My Pony on a loop, and then Ken Foree pulls the power out of the wall, and then it, exactly, and then it like slows down, shuts off. Heck yeah. Someone please go edit all that together. That'd be hilarious.
So good. So Ken Foree is like, I ain't playing with y'all. Like, it's time to go. And Crawford is sick, so they have him like tucked in the sex room. And Barbara Crampton's like, I'm sorry.
Well, the sandworm sucked his hair off.
Yeah, sandworm sucked his hair off and hurt his skin. His skin's very sensitive.
I guess the sandworm's a version of the suck cut.
Yeah. Well, he repeatedly said no teeth, and it did not listen.
It did not.
So many teeth.
Guys, take the feedback.
Oof. Like if the sandworm taps on your head once.
But if it's twice on the pipe, because he's going to blow, all right?
Yeah.
That sandworm could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
And that's how it sucked all of his hair off.
Yeah, it's also how it plays mini golf. Really disconcerting.
Oh, God.
Not fun to watch. But Barbara Crampton is kind of like, oh, they turned off the fuck machine. Like, she's kind of sad about it.
But Paige.
Yeah.
It doesn't care that it gets in the bunkers because it's a sandworm. It's a golf joke. The bunker's made of sand.
I don't golf, but thank you for explaining your culture to me. Anyway, Ken Foree is like, we're going to fucking leave. So you get dressed and then be in the van in like 5 minutes and we're going to take Crawford back to the hospital. And she's like, okay. So she puts out all the S&M stuff and then literally like Crawford's fucking asleep.
You are yada-ing the whole rubbing her head in leather scene.
I know, right?
Okay, fine.
The best scene of the movie, Mikey.
You guys talk about it slowly while I look the other way.
She discovers Todd's leather jacket, and just rubs it on her face like a sandpaper. It's really weird.
It's the sexiest part of the movie, guys. It's so funny, though, because she is like, it's actually just a leather glove, Mikey. So it's like she's rubbing it on her face, and then she changes into a BDSM outfit right after she had just told Ken Foree that she was going to get ready to go. And that made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
It did make me laugh.
Well, and then she's like,
she lost it,
grinding on Crawford, who is unconscious. And then she like reaches her hand down and like,
oh, she assaults him for sure. Yeah. Because he's asleep.
She assaults him. She reaches her hand down and then smells his like.
And his sex appeal has gone down because he's straight up looking like powder.
Yeah, for the rest of this movie, he is wearing a bicycle helmet that is powder colored. Yes.
I thought of him more like Dr. Manhattan. Like, you know?
I didn't think. Well, when Ken holds him like powder through the like, he's basically Wolverine carrying Professor X and Logan at that point.
Oh God! But yeah, so he's like, "Are you gonna wear that to the van? The fuck is wrong with you?" And she's like, "No, Ken Foree, let's bone." He's like, "Let's fucking not. We're not gonna do that."
No, Ken Foree's smart.
Yeah, he's like, "We're gonna get the fuck out of here and go. We could bone later, away from this place." But no. But the machine turns on its own because...
Genuine be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Look, sometimes you don't get to choose when you get turned on.
Exactly. But Paige, I do think it's sort of like that in the movie because they don't really explain how it can turn on and off by itself. It's just like yada, yada, yada that Edward, not Pistorius, could turn it on and off. But it does not explain how any of that takes place.
Right.
So whatever, it just happens.
But so they run up there and immediately Catherine and Crawford are like, dimensional bugs. And then Ken Foree gets up there and he's like, no. And he's got a flashlight. And the flashlight seems to like direct bugs away from them, like light.
It does look like as he flashes it on them, it scares the bugs away. And then I think he either throws it or someone grabs like a fishing hook line and pulls it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. And then the light's on him and then the bugs attack the light.
Right.
So it doesn't, it's like the opposite for him.
Right.
And I don't want to dig into the ramifications of why that might be.
I've pre-written 2 jokes.
Nice.
Great.
Mikey. They'll both be cut. One, the bugs are racist. That's the light joke.
That's definitely just the actual joke.
Oh, wait. I got one that works. They only ate him because they're actually termites and he has been hard as a rock with wood for 3 hours.
That makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, they like piranha him to his bones, just and then he's just like a skeleton with a head and, but then the sentient ball sack and dick comes out of the shadows and just goes like, kiss. And I laughed out loud.
Don't be shy. I'm just a big nut sack. I want you to kiss the girl.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as he like comes into the light, I'm just like, that's a giant dick. That's a dick and balls.
Yep.
And it was like, kiss her. Fucking kiss her, you pussy.
You won't do it. Bet you won't do it.
I wouldn't feel like kissing anybody if somebody sucked my hair off and then half my skin.
We totally moved past this because we were busy talking about other stuff. But the last time the machine was on, it grabbed Barbara Crampton and like ripped open her nightgown and then had the long hot dog fingers over her boobs.
We mentioned it earlier, yeah, because it ripped off her nightgown and then like grew extra long fingers to then like molest her down.
Oh yeah, and that's when he said, in another life, I would have pleased you a different way.
Yeah.
Which is what I tell everyone.
Without my hot dog fingers.
Yeah, I was going to say, whenever somebody offers me hot dogs, that is pleasing.
That's how I say goodbye now. I just say, in a different life, I would have pleased you in a different way.
Ooh, I don't like it.
Has that ever gone well?
Yeah.
I said I say it when I say goodbye.
Yeah, he doesn't ever say goodbye. He sneaks out in the middle of the night. We know this.
Yeah.
We know this. It's because all the people he dates keep their houses hot like lizards. We know this. This is the lore. This is the accepted lore.
I'm trying to think of other like really obscure Batman villains to like pull back in, but
I can't help you with that.
I mean, after Kite Man or whatever, I'm sure there's a terrarium guy. Oh no, it's terrarium guy. Do you need a terrarium? I'll call my terrarium guy.
Oh yeah, there is the lizard, King Croc.
King Croc.
Reptile?
Yeah.
No, that's Mortal Kombat.
I only know him because he was played by the dude that played new Kyle Reese. So
what are they like, Mr. Freeze, because they're so cold to me all the time?
Freeze to meet you.
Mikey, when you first meet someone like at like a coffee date, you have to do that. Like you've been texting for a few days through the like Bumble or whatever. You meet at like a coffee joint. She's like, hey, Mikey, it's nice to meet you. And you're just like, freeze to meet you. And
Freeze to meet you.
Just commit to that accent the whole time.
Oh, God. Honestly, there's a girl I found on Instagram Reels, and she's like live watching the Star Wars movie she's never seen before and is like giving live commentary, and she's cute. And I was like, that's my Instagram crush now.
Do you want us to reach out?
I feel like eventually she's going to have a Star Wars opinion you disagree with, and then it's all going to be over for you.
Star Wars as a franchise is not one that I have a lot of strong opinions on, except for like the new movies are terrible. That's the only strong opinion I have about that.
You have such strong opinions that it's one of the things we can't talk about on the show because it'll take too long.
Just the last movie is so bad.
No strong opinions. You heard it here.
Sidious has returned.
How do you feel about Game of Thrones?
Honestly, I don't think any series has stuck the landing better. I'm just trying to trigger him so bad.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
We gotta move on, guys.
I'll never move on. Game of Thrones should have ended better.
I agree completely.
Anyway, this ball sack with hot dog fingers grabs Barbara Crampton and is like, I want to have mind sex like Demolition Man. And she's just like, no. And then he like grows a little head penis, and then he's like, now you, Crawford. And then Crawford grows a head penis and he's like, oh my God, predator vision is so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Infrared is so cool.
I have such infrared spectrums to show you.
There's a lot of mucus in this film.
Yeah, there is a lot of mucus in this film.
It's hot, right?
But Barbara Crampton gets away. She gets a fire extinguisher and uses it to short out the machine.
Oh, he's so mad about it.
He's so mad. And he like comes back and he's like, you whore. And she's like, no. And she like does it again.
Yeah, when he covers his machine with white liquid, he needs a he needs a break. He goes away for a minute.
It's the post-nut clarity. He's like, I'm not into this.
Yeah.
Refractory dimensional period.
Yeah. It's the refractory dimensional period.
Because we then cut back to the hospital where she's trying to do Dr. Manhattan surgery on Crawford with what look like barbecue tongs.
Yeah.
Well, how else would you pull it out, Paige?
Can you imagine being the nurse in there and like that thing comes out of his head and be like, I'm fucking out.
I'm out.
Well, you're the only doctor on call. Like that's the character that's in the scene. Like you're like, well, fuck, I guess it is me. Shit, I need an adult. Can I get an adult or some salad tongs? Bring me a chef.
Yeah.
Bring me like a Ruby Tuesdays level chef
to
come rip this thing out of here. Barbara, bite it.
I'm going to need one of those little spreaders from a Lunchable to add to my weird tongue.
Can you guys bring me some like really cheap chopsticks that I have to do the thing where I break them and then rub them together, and then I'll just try and go after this thing like straight up old school operation style?
Yeah, ooh, nagi, salmon skin roll. But we can't because the police are here.
Right.
And she comes out there and they're like, hey, what do you have to tell us? And she's like, let's see. This dude has a fucking head penis snake. This bitch was trying to fuck everybody and she's like a doctor. So like, it's all fucked. Everything is fucked. Can I go back to ripping out this dude's head penis snake now? And they're like, geez, okay, what are we gonna do with this lady?
Yeah.
And she's like, lock her up. And they like immediately put her in for electroshock therapy. Like no other reviews, no nothing.
That guy had other things going on in his life that made him just straight up like hate women, because he immediately jumps for no reason to electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
And he has no context for who this is really. Like,
look, she's obviously got medication-resistant psychosis that we haven't tried medication on. Let's go.
Of course, Mikey's going to take his side.
But she goes back to rip out that little head penis snake, and he gone because he's eating brains and shit out of those tubs.
I have to point something out. When she comes out of the room he was in and yells at the security guard and says, call security, I badly wanted him to stand up and be like, I am security.
I am a security.
And then her to be like, well, then call the cops or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's not. She just yells at him to call security, and then that security guard goes and runs to call himself.
Yep. But she's like, hey, Crawford, can you stop eating those? They're going to make you sick. And his head penis is out. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then he comes over to her and just like head penis pops out. And then he like sucks on her eyeball until he sucks it out of the socket and then spits it out. And then he just like tongues the inside of her eye socket for a long time.
That's how you brain sex.
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it was more like you eat Taco Bell, you use the 3 shells, you put the helmet on.
So what it actually is, Paige, and not many people know this because it's just not done often, but you can read thoughts by taste.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's like licking her brain to be able to read her brain.
Taste her memories.
Yes.
I like this.
Yeah.
If you could taste a memory, what would it taste like? Like pick a memory and then tell me what it tastes like.
Well, the memory of me eating dirt as a child would taste like dirt.
Really?
And then the betrayal knowing that my parents just went and got a camera and did not stop me from eating a second spoonful of dirt. So they could get photos the second time I did it.
I'll go with the memory of the time I asked my dad if I could taste vanilla extract because I thought it would taste like vanilla, like frosting or something. And he was like, yeah, sure. And gave me a tiny spoonful. And that shit tastes disgusting because it's pure alcohol.
Yeah, you can get drunk on that.
You can if you try hard enough, but I don't recommend it.
Mikey, you said that like somebody with a problem.
It's not a problem. I can stop at any time.
Guys, it's not a problem. It's a solution.
The cause and solution to all problems.
Taste memories is way before my parents divorced. Growing up in summers, we did a lot of like grilling out steaks and like we would broil artichokes and dip that. So I think summer to me tastes like artichokes and steak, if that makes sense.
Nice.
Man, your memory is like so happy.
It's very happy.
Yeah, it was a happy memory. I would watch Mystery Science Theater and like Monster Vision and stuff, and I'd be eating a lot of this during some of these Mikey movies. It's bringing it all back around.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then my parents, I guess, were just like, what the fuck is wrong with him? I would assume. They would like walk out of the room and be like, what movie is this? I'd be like, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay.
I'm sorry. Is that a giant sentient dick and balls that's trying to murder that lady with hot dog fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's like, oh no, what's happening to me? And like runs away. And Catherine at the same time, like because he ran away, security interrupts her electroshock therapy. So he like unbuckles her and then she gets him with the headlamp and then runs out to try and escape. And Crawford sees her escaping, but she doesn't stop for him. So he gets an ambulance. He like flags down an ambulance that has what I assume is a man who was drunk in public because he's got like vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti, and then he's like just strapped to a gurney being like, just give me one more drink before I go. But he literally attacks both of the EMTs and sucks their eyeballs out.
Yeah. Do you think these people survive?
No.
Or does he like suck their brain out too?
I think he licks all the way back to the stem.
Oof, species style.
Yeah.
But now he has the knowledge to do CPR.
There you go. And he knows Kung Fu.
I know Kung Fu. I sucked it out through that guy's brain.
What's a thought that you'd like to suck out of somebody's brain?
How to use Excel.
Where do I have to suck it out of their brain?
Mikey, that was a real answer, and I respect the fuck out.
I missed it because I was asking a question. What did you say?
How to use Excel spreadsheets? Just going down to the accounting department and just
like all of the macros.
I know how to set functions.
VLOOKUP. Yeah. Anyway, Todd, what was your question?
I can't remember. It was like 30 seconds ago.
You should suck the memory out of my brain.
Oh, where do I have to suck it out of? That was my question.
The eyeball.
You can choose.
Oh, wait, what? Then I choose the nipple.
Same, honestly.
All right. Okay. You know what? Not a bad place. I was going to go mouth, but sure. Anyway. So she shows up at the house. By the time she gets to the house, she has a completely different outfit and luggage, including a bomb.
Yeah, where the fuck did she get a bomb, guys?
The store, guys. The store.
That's where she got her luggage, change of clothing, and a bomb.
It was the 80s. You could buy anything.
She got all of that at Ace Hardware in the 80s. Excuse me, where's your dynamite aisle? All right, cool. Where's your delay timers for dynamite aisle?
When you see your ID, you got to be 15 for that.
Anyway, she sets it on the machine, but the breakers are sparking and the machine turns on. But also Crawford is there with his head penis snake, and he like locks her up in the S&M room, and he's like, I want to be together with you, like head penis. And she bites his head penis off and spits it out.
It's not hot, like a little bit.
I mean, look, when he starts chaining her up, I was like, is there like a toupee around? We could just cover this head penis up? Because
that is true. Like from this point on, he's wearing that fleshy bicycle helmet so they can do the head penis effect.
You could 69 with both penises.
All right, Mikey, you're making a good point.
It can hit the front butt and the back butt at the same time.
When she bites off the head penis, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, it's real gross.
It's pretty fucking gross.
It's too much teeth. It's like Bobbit levels of teeth.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do there.
But then the, Monster Elizasu comes out and he's like, no, you could never please her. You can't make love. And he's like, we're going to fight. And then he turns into some sort of bone bat with a ball sack for a face and hot dog fingers. And he like attacks Crawford and ends up eating Crawford. So now it's like, oh my God.
It twists Crawford's head off, which I think is like sort of an homage to what happened to that guy, right?
Right. But there's only 32 seconds on the bomb. And now Catherine has run back up to the attic and she's cornered by this giant sentient nutsack. But who should try to crawl out of it? Crawford, butt naked.
With hair!
With hair! Back with hair.
It looks like Danny DeVito coming out of a couch. It's Ace Ventura coming out of a rhinoceros, guys.
It's the substance. It's just the younger, hotter, still has hair version of Crawford.
Yes, it is.
Climbing its way out.
It's actually just for men.
Yeah, there you go. It gives her time to get away, but then they turn into like face skeleton worms and they're like make out fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting in the body. Yeah, they're eating each other.
It's so crazy looking.
And she jumps out a window.
Oh, she jumps out a window at 1 second, Paige.
Right.
And it breaks both of her legs because it is the second floor.
Graphically.
And man,
compound ass fracture.
When she jumps out the window, like she's on at least the second floor. I was like, oh shit, she's dead.
Right.
And then when she lands, I was like, there's no way they're gonna expect me to believe she's fine. And then it shows her legs and they're like destroyed. I was like, hell yes. I love this.
But the whole neighborhood is like, oh my God, what happened? And she's just like, it ate him, and then descends into laughing madness. And that's the movie.
But I mean, like, yes, laughing madness. She only knew those guys for a couple days. Like, what does she care?
That's true.
She's definitely going back to the jail she just broke him out of 2 days ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like if I like went off on a weekend. I'd be like, I saw we recorded on a Thursday, and I saw you on the next Tuesday to record. I'd be like, guess what happened this weekend? I met 2 people, and like I had to blow up an attic, and they were in there, and they ate each other, and like the thing resonated. Now it's gone.
The thing resonated, and now it's gone. Hey, how do you guys feel about Genuine's My Pony? Anyway,
yeah.
So having seen this movie and we talked about the movie, what did you guys think about From Beyond?
Horny.
It is horny. I think it's a little bit less horny than a Hellraiser, though.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's less. I think it's less horny than Hellraiser. I think I really liked it. Really loved it. I thought it checked all the boxes of being like really silly but serious and funny.
I do really like how serious everyone in the movie is playing it because it is like the things they're doing are very silly.
Oh, it's so good. I had a good time watching.
I had a good time watching it too. I don't know that I'd like revisit it on purpose, but like if it was on, I would probably just leave it on. You know, I'd be like, oh, I could watch this again, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think this would be a really kind of fun and easy cosplay where you just dress normal, but you put on a bald cap and then stick like a fake penis out of your forehead.
Penis head? Yeah, I love that.
Until that last bit, you're just doing Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide?
Yeah, because you know he can carry a tune, which is what you need to make the Residents.
He's got the best tuning forks.
305. That's his thing. Or 304. I don't remember what it is.
You're asking the wrong person, man. You're the only one who's been to a Pitbull concert.
I'm not good at number memorization. That's what I suck from Pitbull's eyes.
You would just be like sucking out his bank pen and shit.
I know my eyes were going to be seeing it about a week ago. You sucked my brain out. I still can't feel it though.
I love this. I mean, it was a fun time. It was fun talking about it. It was like, it's like a Mikey movie that I missed. Mainly because it's too sexual. Most of the Mikey movies have like no sex or like even reference it. Like the movies like I loved as kids, like some of the Mikey movies, they never like hook up. There's no sex in it.
Yeah, without the sex, this movie's 40 minutes.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yeah, this movie's a little too sexy.
Yeah.
I would have been bored. I've been like, oh.
Where are the guns?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are the super soldiers?
When are they going to fight each other? Yeah.
Kiss.
Ew, kissing's sick. That's disgusting.
Why does that silly putty want them to kiss? That's what you would have said. Anyway, Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, here it is with your fun facts.
From Beyond Fun Facts. So Barbara Crampton sold the leather dominatrix outfit she wore in this film at a yard sale. I don't know how much she got for it, though.
Pretty hot.
So Dr. Block is named after Robert Block, the author of the novel upon which Psycho was based.
Okay.
Who allegedly was also a friend of H.P. Lovecraft at the time. The H.P. Lovecraft story on which this film is based is only 7 pages long, which explains our lack of plot and story.
Yes, it does.
Yes. Now, allegedly, director Stuart Gordon talked to medical advisors to make sure that actions taken by the doctors and nurses of the film followed proper medical procedures. Maybe.
At one point, someone performs an operation with their teeth.
Yeah.
So I disagree.
Right. Jeffrey Combs, who played Crawford, said he once left his dressing room in full makeup with a hole in his forehead, no hair, and a dressing gown. And he passed a group of children in mushroom costumes who were there to film a commercial. He said, quote, "I destroyed them. I destroyed their psyches. I knew what it was to be grotesque."
Oh my God. He then laughed just like Barbara does at the end of this movie.
Yep. This was filmed in Italy with an Italian crew to save money. that helped them keep costs down. It was shot on a soundstage called Dino Sita right outside of Rome. Dino Sita was originally constructed by Dino, why they know like a my whale, De Laurentiis.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, it was seized by the government for non-payment of taxes, the most Italian way to do it,
right?
And then sold to Empire Studios. Now, speaking of the Italian crew, one of the days when they were working on sets, a worker was hammering during the filming of one scene. So director Stuart Gordon asked him to please stop, and the man replied, "Fellini always lets me hammer." And Gordon replied, "Well, I'm not Fellini." And the worker said, "That's for sure."
Yeah.
Super fun.
Italian crews are notoriously terrible to work with.
Oh, yes. Like, this is a historical, like, so many people have horror stories.
Yeah.
The resonator sound effects were later sampled in the song Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Pretty fun. According to producer Brian Usna, the production ran out of money before the effects on the finale could be finished. I think that accounts for why the nutsack monster changes into the bat monster, and it really looks very different.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Dr. Pretorius' character is named after Dr. Septimus Pretorius, a character from Bride of Frankenstein in 1935.
Oh, I didn't know that. Ooh, that's an extra fun fact for me personally.
There you go. After the MPAA had issues with Reanimator, Stuart Gordon and...
There's the basketball league, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the collegiate level.
And Brian Usna decided to ignore blood in favor of slime in this movie so that they could avoid an R rating or an X rating. I believe this does actually get an R rating because of the boobs, but it at least didn't get
It was rated R, I saw, yeah.
Yeah, it didn't get an NC-17 or an X, and that's because they didn't have blood. But the slime ended up causing them more troubles because it was even more disgusting, and they had to cut pieces out of it for a lower rating. Apparently there is, and people have not been able to find it as a deleted scene, but according to Jeffrey Combs, in one take when Ken Foree was lying on the floor in his football jersey where he's eaten by the bugs, he yelled, "Put me in, coach," as he was dying.
Oh my God, I love it.
Great.
I also kind of love that he was wearing his old professional football jersey just like out in random public. That was very funny to me.
Yep. So originally, Stuart Gordon wanted to make a series of films on Lovecraft's short stories, but all with the same cast, much like Roger Corman had done with his Edgar Allan Poe adaptations. Ultimately, a handful of them get made, but not a ton, and this is one of them. Part of the reason they struggle so much was budget. This did not do great. And according to Stuart Gordon, securing an R for this movie was a nightmare. He was ultimately told that the film had, quote, 10 times too much of everything, but was able to get away with...
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Small trims without removing any entire sequences for the film, which is a good thing because had they removed entire sequences, it would have been too short of a runtime for a wide release. But the bugs that they used were just tiny styrofoam balls that, quote, stuck to everything.
They definitely stuck to Ken Foree.
Definitely.
I love Ken Foree.
He's great.
So there is a deleted scene, I'll leave you guys on this, where Dr. Pretorius is in the Red Room when Tillinghast or Crawford comes knocking, and the doctor is putting a nail through a girl's tongue.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yeah, Stuart Gordon cut the scene manually and had since lost the footage and was quite sad about it, but that is one of the few known deleted scenes from the movie. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts page. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So I don't have a lot because this movie's pretty old, but I do have the budget. So what do you think the budget was for this movie? And it was in 1986.
I know, so I have to recuse myself.
Okay. So, Mikey, do you want to guess?
$750,000.
It was $4.5 million.
Oh, interesting. That's more than I saw. I saw 2.5.
Yeah, I got that from Wikipedia. That there are some other sources that said different things, and I truly don't know exactly what's correct.
Yeah.
Because I saw that figure too. But I do have how much it made at the box office as well. So what do you think it made in 1986 when it was in the box office? By the way, the first week it came out was October 24th, and it was 11th in the theaters. It was beat by Crocodile Dundee. The Color of Money was number 2. Soul Man was number 3. Peggy Sue Got Married was number 4. And Trick or Treat was number 5. I think I know all of those movies.
Yeah, I would say this makes $800,000.
Mikey, what do you think?
$500,000.
It made $514,000. It was the 11th movie. Right above it was Stand By Me. Right above that was Top Gun. Guys, there's a lot of great movies in the theaters right now at this time. Anyway, so this movie didn't do great when it came out in theaters. It brought in a total of $1.2 million. So it lost quite a bit of money. But if you adjust for inflation, that's roughly $3.6 million today. And that is your box office. So, Mikey, do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Yeah, scary scale. Listen, this is how scary we found the film when we watched it today. Our one example is Ghostbusters, and our 10 example is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not a scale of quality, just scary.
Right.
This is a 1 for me, dog.
Todd.
A 1 as well, Mikey.
That'll also be a 1 for me. So that's our scary scale.
Yeah. All right. Well, this week, Mikey, you made us watch From Beyond. Hey, guys, this is Future Todd breaking in because when we recorded our From Beyond episode, we didn't yet realize that there were 5 Mondays in March. So Mikey graciously agreed to do a 5th episode. So next week, we actually picked, or he technically picked, Night of the Comet. So make sure you watch Night of the Comet for next week, guys. And then up after that will be listener request, just like always.
Hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read some Spotify comments that came in on our most recent episode, which was our Motel Hell episode. And I'm going to read this one from Momo. And they say, as a dedicated grassy vegan, I accept Mikey's criticism. At least he makes me laugh whilst judging my lifestyle choices.
God, even your comment's pretentious. I hate it.
That comment was cold yet gassy. Well, Momo, thank you so much for that awesome Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that.
Why can't we just live in a world united by our hatred of vegans?
Because we're not united. Sometimes they make good cookies and shit.
They do it like Guinness Book of World Records. Like, I made this cookie with like a sunflower and like 2 sprinkles of sunlight or whatever. And I'm like, that's impressive, but not necessary. You know, I don't need you to do that. I just need a regular cookie, you know?
The funny thing is, like, because of Natalie's allergies, because she's allergic to gluten, dairy, and eggs, like, she is more or less vegan, but she eats meat. Like, because we'll go to steakhouses and she'll get a steak because she still eats meat. But, like...
That's why I respect her.
Yeah, but I know. But, like, we have to go to, like, vegan bakeries for, like, her, like, pastry needs.
Yeah.
We have one really close. It's really great. But... I do prefer like a regular bakery.
Okay, but does she shit cold?
No, because she eats meat.
Oh, okay. That's the one thing you got to do to avoid the cold shits.
But if she hasn't eaten meat in a few days, guys, I've gone to the bathroom after her and it is iced over.
Oh, damn.
Babe, you edit the podcast, so you can edit that out if you feel the need. And I'll just find out when I listen to it if you liked the joke or not.
I don't know. Maybe she will.
So, guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast. Some might call it a sister podcast called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
That's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
I'm Mikey.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ooky spooky.
Yeah. Bye! Only one more episode with Mikey left, nerds. I don't get my skateboard until Monday.
Why, are you grounded?
No, because my last one, I rode it and it was too wet outside and I just destroyed the board. So I had to buy a whole new one.
Okay. All right.
Look, I thought I was spending my money on dumb things. However,
Paige, I literally make it my neighborhood's problem that like I make too much money and I don't have children.